Right now, you are being told a single line of text has changed 40 years of established fact. But this is a dangerous oversimplification. Here is why. Believing this puts you at risk of misunderstanding the very foundation of the law, leading to wasted time in pointless arguments. Which is why in this video, you will get the two proven facts that put this entire debate into its proper context. Here is the truth. The nature of this universe is designed to be vague and fluid. Many people make the mistake of treating a single new sentence as absolute law, or they fall back on assumptions that were never explicitly stated in the first place. This is risky because it builds your entire understanding on a fragile foundation, one that can be shattered by the next official release. The approach you will learn here requires no special knowledge, only a clear way of thinking. You will get two simple, foundational truths about this universe. We will start with the second most important truth, then move to the most critical one. They are effective because they are built on decades of official publications and the direct words of the law's key architects. Later, I will also reveal the three most dangerous assumptions you must avoid when a change like this happens. Now, let us start. Fact number one, the law is intentionally changeable. As I have stated for nearly a decade, the history of this universe is not static. It is presented through the lens of propaganda, lost history, and outright lies. So just because something was never mentioned previously does not mean it could not have been so. This is the fundamental rule, whether you like it or not. The absence of evidence has never been evidence of absence in this setting. However, there is a critical warning that goes with this. You do not take a singular reference and then declare decades of prior material are now invalid. A single, isolated piece of new information must be weighed against the mountain of existing text. Here is something most people do not know. This requires a specific method. You must accumulate multiple small references over time. The more of those references you can gather, the more you can lean towards something being a definable part of the law. One vague quote is not enough, and that brings us to the most important fact. Fact number two, the creation process for a custodian makes this change more than possible. Here is why. The common mistake is to confuse a custodian with a space marine. They are not the same. The process to create a custodian is profoundly different and far more advanced. It begins in infancy, not adolescence. It involves genetic manipulation so total that it operates on a microscopic, cellular level. It is not about implanting a handful of new organs. Let us go to the words of Alan Bligh, the creator of the definitive Horus heresy black books. These are not my words. These are the words of a primary architect of the modern law. He describes the custards as the firstborn of the emperor's gene craft. The process is so demanding that only one in many thousands of candidates is suitable for even the simplest first step. Survival through the decades of alchemical augmentation and psychotic training is far from guaranteed. The result is a being transformed beyond the limits of a normal human. And here is the most critical part, stated plainly. Both custodians and Astartes are rendered incapable of procreation. This is a deliberate biological control to ensure they have a singular purpose. In the case of the custodian guard, each is a protector of unrelenting diligence. But the key difference is how they are made. The process is a matter for the imperial household alone. Its secrets are absolute. But what is known is that the gene craft that transforms them is as absolute as it is subtle. It is worked upon the smallest conceivable level of their genome and cellular structure. This process grants them effective immortality with no perceptible aging. The change is so powerful that many believe it crosses into the realm of biomancy and psychic manipulation, with the emperor himself overseeing the creation of every single one. Now, think about this. We are talking about technology from the golden age of humanity. This was an era where almost anything was possible. If the emperor's science can rewrite a human at the genetic level to make them immortal, ageless, and psychologically perfect, the idea that it could not accommodate a different gender is not logical. The deep, cellular, and metaphysical nature of this creation process means that gender, a surface-level biological trait, would be a trivial factor to manipulate or design for. If you are unwilling to admit that, you are simply not engaging with what the law specifically states. There is nothing in this foundational text that says it cannot be done. So why are people experiencing such extreme whiplash? Because until this single new reference, every depiction of a custodian has been male. For decades, across novels, codex books, and art, they have been described using he, him, and himself. This built a powerful, consistent image. This is why the old codex books referred to them in all caps as the Brotherhood of Demigods. This is a strange and specific choice of words if you intended for the group to be mixed gender from the start. And it is likely why the newest book has changed this phrase to a more neutral one, a gathering of demigods. This is a deliberate change to align with the new information. But what about older clues? People are now pointing to a single passage in the book Echoes of Eternity from 2 years ago as proof that this was planned all along. I will quote it for you now. It describes the Primarch Sanguinius seeing a golden ship for the first time. The passage reads, "These men and women were plated in the same gold as the ship, my father's guardians," Sanguinius thought. Obviously, people are focusing on the key words men and women as definitive proof. Personally, I find this reference to be vague. Here is why. This could have easily been referring to other forces who wear gold armor and fight alongside the custards. Think about the Sisters of Silence, or their sub-orders, the prosecutors and the witch seekers. They are an all-female force known for their golden armor, and they have been deployed alongside the custards since the very beginning of the Great Crusade. Sanguinius was discovered nearly 50 years into the crusade, so their presence would be completely normal. My point is that this is not the clear-cut example people want it to be. It is ambiguous. But now we have a new, explicit reference. It comes from a short story in the newest 10th edition codex. It features a custodian named Cadiz Toro Valia Kesh. The story itself is a standard affair. Kesh is participating in a blood game. These are ancient, brutal tests where custodians attempt to breach the defenses of the imperial palace to find any weakness. Kesh is noted as having a particular flair for the unexpected. The significant detail is that Kesh is a woman. And this brings us to the 3 dangerous assumptions you must avoid. The number 1 item to avoid is what I call law absolutism. This is the belief that the law is a fixed, historical record. Many people do this because it makes the universe feel more real and stable. The problem is, this is the opposite of how the universe is designed. It is designed for change. Data from 40 years of this hobby shows that factions, characters, and entire timelines are subject to revision. For example, look at the entire history of the Horus heresy, which has been massively expanded and altered over the last 20 years. Instead of treating the law as absolute, treat it as a collection of myths and legends, where the truth is always just out of reach. This will protect your enjoyment of the setting for years to come. The number 2 item to avoid is source bias. This is the trap of believing one type of source is always superior to another. Many people do this because they prefer the detailed narrative of a novel over the condensed summary in a codex. The problem is, all sources are equally valid and equally unreliable. A novel gives you a single character's perspective, which is inherently biased. A codex is an in-universe artifact, which means it is subject to imperial propaganda. For example, a codex might claim a faction is undefeated, while a novel from an enemy's perspective details their many losses. A safer alternative is to practice source triangulation. You must compare information from novels, codexes, and campaign books to build a more complete, if still imperfect, picture. Never rely on just one. And that brings us to the number 3 most dangerous assumption. The number 3 item to avoid is argument from emotion. Many people do this because they have a deep personal connection to a faction and its established image. This new change feels like a violation of that image. The problem is that feelings are not law evidence. The fact that you do not like a change does not make it invalid. Experience shows that discussions based on emotion quickly become toxic and unproductive. A classic example of this is the heated debate that has surrounded the Ultramarines for decades, often driven more by personal dislike than by textual analysis. Instead, focus only on what the text says. The law is clear. The process to create a custodian is more than advanced enough to make them female. The law is also clear. Until now, they have always been depicted as male. Both of these things are true at the same time. The safer, more constructive approach is to acknowledge this tension rather than letting emotion cloud your judgment. Here is the bottom line. It is possible to create a female custodian. Now one exists, but one reference does not erase decades of established portrayal. We must wait for this new fact to be restated and reaffirmed in other sources before it can be considered a permanent, definable part of the law. Until then, it is a single data point. Now, let us talk about your own health. The truth is, building a strong, resilient body is 80% nutrition and only 20% training. Weak foundations cannot support a strong structure. That is why I have created the Over 50 Strength Plan. It contains 93 plus recipes designed specifically for your needs. It covers everything from high-protein breakfasts to satisfying snacks that will not derail your progress. Each meal is designed to be prepared in under 20 minutes. Get it by visiting the link in the description below this video. Your body will thank you. Tomorrow, there will be a new video that reveals the #1 mineral deficiency that could be silently sabotaging your strength gains. It affects nearly 7 out of every 10 adults over the age of 60, yet most doctors never test for it. Subscribe and turn on all notifications so you do not miss it. Missing this information is a risk you do not want to take. Start with the 2 foundational truths from today. Question everything and demand more than one source. Then go get the nutrition plan and feed your body what it needs to get stronger. I will see you tomorrow. Interaction. This constant dialogue between creator and audience is what truly shapes the culture around any significant IP, transforming a passive consumer experience into an active, participatory fandom. The Warhammer 40,000 community, with its deep investment in decades of lore, is a prime example of this dynamic, where every change is not just announced, but debated, dissected, and ultimately integrated into a collective understanding. And it's a feedback loop, which I think Games Workshop is probably more aware of now than at any other point in its history. The rise of social media and dedicated online content creators has created a direct conduit between the company and its most passionate consumers, making fan sentiment more visible and arguably more influential than ever before. This heightened awareness likely informs their decisions, not just in terms of law, but in product design, marketing, and community engagement strategies. So when they make a change like this with the custards, they must have known it would generate this exact kind of widespread conversation. It's a calculated move, likely intended not just as a lore update, but as a significant talking point to drive engagement and discussion around the new codex release. In the modern attention economy, even controversy can be a powerful marketing tool, ensuring that the brand remains at the forefront of the cultural conversation within its niche. Whether that's a good or a bad thing is of course a matter of personal opinion. Some might see it as a cynical manipulation of fan passion, while others might view it as a bold creative choice designed to keep the universe feeling fresh and unpredictable. The truth probably lies somewhere in the middle, a complex intersection of commercial necessity and genuine creative impulse that defines the modern entertainment landscape. But going back to the core issue, the actual lore itself, I think the most reasonable position is one of cautious acceptance. The change is technically plausible within the universe's established rules of bioengineering, but its execution was undeniably clumsy and dismissive of the established context. It feels like a missed opportunity for a truly compelling narrative reveal, Perhaps a story about the rediscovery of a lost creation method or the emergence of a secret sub-faction of custodians. Instead, we got a footnote in a short story, a detail dropped so casually it felt almost like an afterthought, which is what I think has caused the most friction. It's not necessarily the what that has upset people so much as the how. A more respectful, narratively integrated introduction could have softened the blow and perhaps even generated excitement, but the abrupt, matter-of-fact approach felt like it invalidated the previous understanding of the law without offering a compelling new story in its place. And this is a lesson that I hope is learned as 40K moves closer to its mainstream debut. If the creative teams behind the new shows and movies handle significant lore elements with this same level of casual disregard for established context, they will quickly alienate the very fanbase whose passion is the foundation of the IP's success. Mainstream appeal cannot be built on the ashes of the core community's goodwill. It requires a delicate balance, a deep understanding of what makes the universe special, and a commitment to telling stories that honor the past while bravely exploring the future. The Custard's issue, in its own small way, is a microcosm of this larger challenge. It highlights the tension between maintaining continuity and embracing change, a tension that will only grow more pronounced as the grim darkness of the far future is illuminated by the bright lights of Hollywood. Ultimately, the universe of Warhammer 40,000 will endure as it always has. It is a vast, sprawling, and wonderfully contradictory setting, capable of absorbing countless changes, clarifications, and reinterpretations. This recent development, while jarring, will eventually be woven into the grand tapestry of the lore, another thread in an ever-expanding story. For me, it reinforces the importance of my own approach, to focus on the patterns, to demand corroboration, and to treat the law not as a static, unchanging text, but as a living, breathing narrative that is constantly in flux. It's a universe that rewards critical thinking and an open mind. And while it's easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment, the long view always reveals a richer, more complex picture. The discussions we're having now will become part of the history of the fandom, a data point in the ongoing evolution of how we engage with this shared world. And in that sense, even frustrating changes can have a positive outcome, as they force us to re-examine our own assumptions, articulate our perspectives, and engage more deeply with the material we love. That engagement is, after all, the point. It's what keeps us coming back, what fuels the creativity of painters, players, and storytellers alike, and what ensures that even after 40 years, the 41st millennium remains one of the most compelling and enduring fictional universes ever created. The conversation will continue, new codexes will be released, and the lore will march ever onward, and I, for one, am curious to see where it goes next. There is always the possibility, too, that this single reference will be the only one for some time, and it will just sit there as this strange anomaly that people point to. Games Workshop has a history of introducing plot threads or lore details that then lie dormant for years, sometimes never to be picked up again. This could very well be one of those instances, a trial balloon launched to gauge community reaction without any immediate plans for further development. If that's the case, it becomes less of a definitive retcon and more of a narrative curiosity, a what-if that exists in the margins of the established lore. It allows them to maintain a degree of plausible deniability, neither fully committing to the change nor entirely retracting it. This kind of narrative ambiguity is, as we've discussed, a classic 40K storytelling technique, frustrating and fascinating in equal measure. It also means that the community's reaction could directly influence whether we see more of this in the future. If the overall response, once the initial heat dies down, is one of acceptance or even interest, we might see female custodians integrated more fully into future novels and background material. If the backlash is sustained and significant, the idea might be quietly shelved, left as a strange footnote in a single 10th edition codex. This is where the power of the community really lies, not in demanding that the lore remain static, but in shaping the direction of its evolution through constructive feedback and continued engagement. The creators are, in a sense, in a constant dialogue with the audience, and the nature of that dialogue can have a profound impact on the long-term health and direction of the IP. For now, we have one story, one character, and a whole universe of speculation. It's a reminder that even in a setting as old and established as Warhammer 40,000, there are still surprises to be found and new conversations to be had. And as a chronicler and analyst of this universe, that's an exciting prospect. It ensures there will always be something new to dissect, something new to debate, and something new to inspire us. The day that 40K becomes entirely predictable and set in stone is the day it loses its grimdark soul. So while I may critique the method of delivery, I can't entirely condemn the act of keeping us on our toes. It's a fine line to walk, and they don't always get it right. But the willingness to evolve is, in itself, a sign of a healthy and vital creative universe. The next few years, with the advent of the mainstream adaptations, will be the ultimate test of that vitality. Will the core of 40K be protected, or will it be diluted for mass consumption? Time, as always, will tell. And on that note of uncertainty, it feels like a good place to leave the topic for now. The arguments have been made, the perspectives shared, and the lore will continue to unfold at its own pace. My focus now shifts back to the deep dive into the history of the Custodian Guard, a history that has just become a little more complicated and a lot more interesting to talk about. I'm keen to see how this new detail might be subtly woven into reinterpretations of their past actions, or if it will be treated as a purely modern development. The Siege of Terror novels, for example, are now complete, so any further retroactive inclusions would have to come in new material or supplementary texts. It will be interesting to monitor the Black Library's output over the next year to see if any authors pick up this thread and run with it. That's often where these changes are truly fleshed out and given the narrative weight they deserve. A single line in a codex can feel hollow, but a well-written novel that explores the concept through the eyes of compelling characters can transform a controversial retcon into a beloved part of the lore. The ultimate success or failure of this change may well rest in the hands of the novelists. Perhaps we'll get a story from Kesh's perspective, detailing her experience in the Blood Games and her role within the Custards. That would be the ideal way to integrate this change, by giving it a face, a voice, and a story that fans can connect with on an emotional level. Storytelling is always more powerful than simple exposition, and this is a prime opportunity for Games Workshop to prove they understand that. It's a chance to turn a clumsy addendum into a rich new avenue for narrative exploration. Whether they seize that opportunity remains to be seen, but it's a possibility that keeps me engaged and hopeful for the future of the setting, despite my reservations about the execution of this particular change. The potential is there, waiting to be unlocked by a skilled storyteller. This constant push and pull between potential and execution is really at the heart of the long-term fan experience. We see the incredible potential in the universe, the countless stories waiting to be told, and we hold the actual execution to a very high standard because of it. When the execution falls short, it's frustrating, but the potential is what keeps us invested, always hoping that the next book, the next codex, the next model will be the one that perfectly captures the magic we know is there. And in many ways, that's a good summary of my feelings on this whole affair. A fascinating addition to the potential of the lore, let down by a less than ideal execution. But the potential remains, and that's enough to keep me watching, reading, and talking about it for the foreseeable future. The Imperium is vast, and its secrets are many, and the slow unveiling of those secrets, however jarring, is a journey I'm still very much enjoying being a part of. The responsibility now falls to the lore keepers to build upon this foundation in a meaningful way. If, a year from now, Cadi's Toro Valiakesh remains nothing more than a name in a single short story, then the change will have been a failure, a mere token gesture that served only to stir controversy without adding any real substance. If, however, her story and the stories of other female custodians are explored with depth and creativity, then it could mark the beginning of a new and exciting chapter in the history of the Emperor's personal guard. The ball is in their court. As fans and commentators, all we can do is watch, wait, and continue the conversation. And that in itself is a vital part of the process, ensuring that the creators are always aware that their decisions are being scrutinized by a passionate and knowledgeable audience that cares deeply about the integrity of this incredible, grimdark world. It is this very passion that ensures the universe's longevity, a constant fire that even the coldest vacuum of space cannot extinguish. It fuels every aspect of the hobby, from the hours spent painting a single miniature to perfection, to the late-night discussions online about the most obscure points of lore. This collective investment is the true lifeblood of Warhammer 40,000, and it's something that no corporate strategy or mainstream adaptation can ever truly replace. It is a community built on a shared love for a universe that is brutal, uncompromising, and endlessly fascinating. And as long as that community continues to thrive, to debate, and to create, the future of the 41st millennium, whatever changes may come, will be in very good hands. The Emperor's light may have failed, but the passion of his most ardent followers continues to burn as brightly as ever. It is that passion which will ultimately guide the narrative forward, reacting to and shaping the official lore in a symbiotic dance that has been ongoing for decades. This dance is often chaotic, sometimes frustrating, but always, always interesting. It is the meta-narrative that underpins everything else, the story of the story itself, and participating in it is a reward in its own right. So, while we may disagree on the specifics of a particular change, we are all united in our dedication to this grand, unfolding epic. That unity is what truly defines the Warhammer 40,000 fandom. It's a testament to the power of shared world building, where the official creators lay the foundation, but the community builds the culture, the memes, the interpretations, and the traditions that give the universe its true depth and character. This latest controversy is just another brick in that ever-growing edifice, a moment that will be remembered, debated, and eventually absorbed into the larger structure of what it means to be a fan of this setting. The process is messy, organic, and unpredictable, much like the Imperium itself. And perhaps that's the most fitting parallel of all. The lore is not a pristine, perfectly curated museum piece. It's a war-torn, chaotic, and living history, constantly being rewritten by the victors, rediscovered by scholars, and argued over by zealots. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. It is this very imperfection that gives the setting its texture and its sense of realism, despite the fantastical elements. It feels like a genuine history, full of contradictions, lost knowledge, and competing narratives. The introduction of female custards, therefore, is not so much a break in the lore as it is a perfect example of how the lore functions. A new text has been unearthed, a new perspective revealed, and now the scribes and historians of the fandom must grapple with its implications and decide how it fits into the established timeline. It is a challenge, but a welcome one. It forces us to be active readers, not passive consumers. We are invited to participate in the process of interpretation, to weigh the evidence, and to form our own conclusions. This intellectual engagement is one of the most rewarding aspects of the hobby, elevating it beyond a simple game or a series of books into a complex and intellectually stimulating puzzle box. Every new piece of lore is another clue, another piece of the puzzle to be considered and placed. So, while the initial reaction may be one of surprise or even anger, the long-term effect is one of renewed engagement. The puzzle has become more complex, the picture less clear, and that just makes us all lean in a little closer, determined to figure it out. In that respect, Games Workshop has achieved its goal, not just of selling a new book, but of reinvigorating the central mystery of its own universe. A mystery that, thankfully, shows no signs of ever being fully solved. And that is perhaps the greatest strength of Warhammer 40,000. The questions it raises are always more interesting than the answers it provides. The ambiguity is a feature, not a bug. It creates the space for our own imaginations to flourish, to fill in the gaps, and to make the universe our own. This latest development is just another one of those spaces. A new door opened into a previously unseen corner of the lore, inviting us to step through and explore what lies beyond. For a storyteller, there is no greater gift. It is an invitation to imagine, to create, and to contribute to the ongoing saga. And for the audience, it is a promise that this universe, even after all these years, still has the capacity to surprise us, to challenge our assumptions, and to keep us guessing. That is a promise worth holding on to, even when the path forward is shrouded in the fog of war and debate. The journey through the grim darkness continues, and it is as compelling now as it has ever been. This is why, despite the occasional misstep, I remain optimistic about the future of the setting. Its foundations are strong enough to withstand these kinds of shifts. The core concepts of the grimdark, the cosmic horror, and the unending struggle are so potent that they can accommodate a wide range of interpretations and additions without losing their essential character. The introduction of a female custodian does not diminish the horror of the Tyranids, the threat of chaos, or the crushing authoritarianism of the imperium. If anything, it simply adds another layer of complexity to the human element within that vast and terrifying backdrop. It expands the scope of who can participate in the grand tragedy of the 41st millennium without fundamentally altering the nature of the tragedy itself. The universe is still a dark and unforgiving place. There are just a few more people to share in its misery and its fleeting moments of glory. And that, to me, is not a weakening of the law, but a strengthening of it. It makes the world feel larger, more diverse, and more reflective of the countless billions of souls struggling for survival within it. The custards were always meant to be the best of humanity, reforged into something more. Expanding the pool of what that humanity looks like only serves to make their perfection and their sacrifice all the more impressive. It's a subtle shift in perspective, but an important one. It moves the focus from a specific, narrow definition of the emperors chosen to a broader, more inclusive one, without sacrificing their elite and enigmatic nature. They are still the 10,000, the demigods in gold, the final wall against the darkness. That core identity remains unchanged, and that is what truly matters for the long-term integrity of the faction's place in the lore. The details may change, but the themes endure. And it is those themes of sacrifice, duty, and the struggle against impossible odds that have always been the heart of Warhammer 40,000. As long as those remain intact, the universe will continue to resonate with us, regardless of what new details emerge from the mists of its long and bloody history. The story is what matters, and the story of the Imperium is far from over. There will be new heroes, new villains, and new mysteries to unravel. The introduction of Kesh is simply the latest turn of the page, not the closing of the book. And I, for one, am eager to read on and discover what other secrets the archives of terror have yet to reveal. The thirst for knowledge, after all, is a powerful motivator, even if it is sometimes heretical. In this case, the pursuit of understanding this change is a quest in itself, one that engages the entire community in a collective effort to make sense of the evolving narrative. This shared quest for meaning is a powerful bonding agent, forging connections between fans across the globe as they piece together the clues and debate the implications. Even in disagreement, there is a sense of community, a shared passion for a world that feels real enough to argue about. And that is a remarkable achievement for any work of fiction. To create a world so rich and so compelling that its fans treat its history with the same seriousness and passion as their own. It is a testament to the decades of creative work that have gone into building this universe, and a sign that its legacy is secure, capable of weathering any storm of controversy that comes its way. The custodian guard will continue their long watch, and we, the fans, will continue ours. Interaction. This very interaction, however, is what fuels the ongoing life of the universe, preventing it from becoming a static museum piece of established facts. The varied responses to this custard's clarification are a perfect case study in the different ways fans engage with a living narrative, showcasing a clear divide between those who prioritize long-standing textual consistency above all else, and those who embrace the inherent fluidity of the setting as one of its core strengths. The former group often points to the decades of masculine-coded language, the title Brotherhood of Demigods, and the consistent artistic depictions as a form of implicit contract with the audience. For them, the change feels less like a clarification and more like a breach of that unspoken agreement, undermining the perceived stability of the world they have invested in. Their arguments are not necessarily rooted in opposition to the concept itself, but in the perceived clumsiness and retroactive nature of its implementation, which they feel disrespects the established narrative fabric. On the other side of the spectrum are those who see this development as a logical extension of the setting's core principles. They argue that a universe as vast and filled with technological marvels as 40K should not be bound by such mundane biological limitations, especially when dealing with the Emperor's own gene craft. For this group, the previous absence of female custodians was merely an omission, not a definitive prohibition, and the new law simply fills a blank that was always implicitly there. And somewhere between these two poles lies a more pragmatic group, who view the change through the lens of Games Workshop as a company. They understand that a growing IP needs to evolve and appeal to a broader demographic, and that such changes, while potentially jarring to long-time fans, are a commercial necessity for long-term growth. This perspective treats the law not as a sacred text, but as a dynamic product that must adapt to a changing market and evolving social norms. Each of these viewpoints is valid within its own framework, and it's the tension between them that makes these discussions so fascinating. It highlights the fundamental question of what a fictional canon is. Is it a rigid historical record to be preserved, or a flexible storytelling toolkit to be constantly adapted? 40K, perhaps more than any other IP, actively encourages both interpretations simultaneously, which is both its greatest strength and its most consistent source of internal conflict. This conflict is also amplified by the nature of the custards themselves. Unlike the countless legions of the Imperial Guard or the sprawling chapters of the Astartes, the custards are an organization defined by their exclusivity and perfection. They are the 10,000, a finite and almost mythical body. Therefore, any change to their fundamental composition is perceived as having far greater weight than a similar change to a more numerous or less central faction. It alters the very image of what sits at the heart of the imperium, next to the emperor himself. This is not just adding a new regiment to the Astra Militarum or a previously unknown Space Marine successor chapter. It is redefining the nature of the emperor's most perfect creations, his own companions. The symbolic weight of the custodian guard is immense, and tinkering with that symbolism inevitably provokes a strong reaction. Consider, for example, the visual language of the Imperium. It is built on archetypes: the robed tech priest, the fanatical sister of battle, the stoic space marine. The golden, male demigod was the archetype for the custodian. The introduction of a female counterpart doesn't just add a character. It challenges and broadens a foundational visual and thematic archetype that has been reinforced for over 30 years of the game's history. This is why the manner of the introduction, that dismissive, "oh, by the way" tone, felt particularly grating to some. It treated a significant alteration to a core archetype as a minor footnote, which can feel like a fundamental misunderstanding of why people are so invested in that archetype in the first place. A more deliberate narrative, perhaps a story exploring the discovery of a lost contingent or the revival of a forgotten creation protocol, might have softened the blow by making the audience part of the discovery. Instead, the approach taken was to imply that this was always the case, and that the audience had simply been misinterpreting the facts for decades. While this serves the purpose of avoiding a direct, hard retcon, it creates a sense of narrative dissonance and can leave parts of the audience feeling alienated, as if their long-term engagement and understanding of the lore is being invalidated. It's a delicate balancing act for the writers. On one hand, you want to maintain the creative freedom to evolve the universe. On the other, you must respect the collective understanding that the community has built up over years of shared experience. When that balance is perceived to be off, you get the kind of intense, widespread debate we've seen in the past week. And yet, in a strange way, this is also a sign of a healthy and engaged fandom. Apathy is the true killer of any long-running IP. The fact that thousands of people across the globe care enough about the biological makeup of fictional golden warriors to engage in furious, multi-day debates is a testament to the immersive power of the world that Games Workshop has created. This passion is the resource that fuels the entire hobby, from the tabletop battles to the novel sales to the video game adaptations. And it is born from a belief that the details matter, that the history is real enough to be argued over, and that the world has a coherent internal logic worth defending. Even in disagreement, there is a shared investment in the integrity of that world. Ultimately, the lore of Warhammer 40,000 will move on. This new detail will be integrated, and future codexes and novels will likely build upon it, fleshing it out and making it feel more like a natural part of the setting. The initial shock will fade, and it will become another accepted piece of the vast, contradictory mosaic that is the 41st millennium. The conversation will then shift to the next unexpected development, the next lore clarification that challenges long-held assumptions. And the cycle of debate, analysis, frustration, and acceptance will begin anew. This is the constant, churning engine of a living narrative, and it is what ensures that after more than 3 decades, this universe continues to feel vital and relevant. For my part, I'll continue to approach each new piece of information with the same methodology, weighing it against the body of existing lore, waiting for corroboration, and attempting to integrate it into a coherent understanding of the universe, while always acknowledging the inherent ambiguity of the setting. It's a process that requires patience and a willingness to adapt, but it's the most rewarding way to engage with a story of this scale. The introduction of Cadi's Toro Valiakesh is not an end, but a beginning. It opens new avenues for storytelling, new character archetypes within the Custodian Guard, and new questions about their hidden history. What other secrets does the Imperial household hold? What other aspects of the Emperor's original design have been lost or forgotten over the 10 millennia of his silence? These are the questions that keep the lore exciting. The possibility that there is always something more to discover, some new truth to be revealed, is what keeps us coming back. It transforms the act of reading a codex or a novel from a passive consumption of facts into an active process of historical and archaeological investigation. We, as fans, become scholars of a fictional history, piecing together fragments of information from disparate and often unreliable sources to form a more complete picture. And like any good historian, we must be prepared for the discovery of a new manuscript or artifact that forces us to re-evaluate everything we thought we knew. This is the challenge and the joy of being a fan of Warhammer 40,000. The ground is never entirely solid beneath your feet, but the landscape is endlessly fascinating to explore. And so, while the debates rage, the core of the hobby remains. A shared love for a universe so rich and so deep that it can withstand any controversy and continue to inspire awe and wonder. And on a more practical level, it provides a new avenue for modelers and painters. The opportunity to create a unique, personalized custodian, drawing on this new piece of lore, is an exciting prospect for many in the hobby community. It allows for a greater range of expression and personalization within one of the most elite and visually striking armies in the game. This tangible, creative aspect is often overlooked in purely lore-focused discussions. For every person debating the textual implications, there is another person thinking about how they might convert a model or what color scheme they might use to represent this new development on the tabletop. The lore and the hobby are inextricably linked, each feeding and informing the other in a continuous cycle. A new story beat doesn't just change the narrative. It can inspire the creation of a new army, a diorama, or a piece of fan art. This creative output is a vital part of the community's engagement, translating the abstract concepts of the lore into tangible, shared experiences. In this sense, the introduction of a female custards is not just a retcon or a clarification, it's a creative prompt. It's an invitation to imagine the 41st millennium in a slightly broader, more inclusive way than before. And while the initial implementation may have been jarring, the long-term creative potential it unlocks could prove to be a significant net positive for the health and diversity of the hobby as a whole. Only time will tell how this new thread is woven into the larger tapestry of the lore. But the process of that weaving, the discussions, the creations, and the eventual acceptance is what makes being a part of this community so uniquely rewarding. The long watch continues, not just for the custodians on Terra, but for all of us who follow their stories and the ever-evolving narrative of the grim, dark future. We are all guardians of the lore in our own way, interpreting, debating, and ultimately keeping the flame of this incredible universe alive. It's this shared sense of ownership that makes the world feel so persistent and real. Fans don't just consume 40K, they actively participate in its existence through their engagement. Whether by playing the game, painting miniatures, writing fan fiction, or arguing about canon, each action adds another layer of depth and reality to the setting. This is a dynamic that many other franchises struggle to achieve. The permission structure within 40K, which is built upon the idea of your dudes and the inherent unreliability of its lore, actively encourages this kind of deep, personal investment. The introduction of a female custodian is simply the latest test of this unique relationship between the creators and the community. And based on the sheer volume and passion of the response, it's clear that the relationship, while sometimes strained, remains as strong and as vital as ever. The Imperium endures, not just through the might of its armies, but through the unwavering belief of its countless followers, both within the fiction and outside of it. It's a powerful thought, and one that speaks to the enduring legacy of this shared world. The debate itself becomes a part of the lore's history, a meta-narrative event that fans in the future might look back on as a key moment in the evolution of the setting. Just as we look back at the introduction of the Primaris Marines or the fall of Cadia, this custodian controversy will become another chapter in the ongoing story of Warhammer 40,000. It demonstrates that the narrative is not a finished work, but a continuous project that is being built and rebuilt in real time. And being able to witness and participate in that construction is a rare privilege for any fan of fiction. It allows us to feel like we are part of something that is growing and changing, rather than just passively observing a story that was completed long ago. This sense of immediacy and relevance is crucial for keeping a nearly 40-year-old IP fresh and engaging for new generations of fans. It ensures that the universe never feels like a relic of the past, but a living, breathing world that is still full of surprises and capable of sparking passionate discussion among its global community. And so the cycle continues, as it always has. A new piece of lore is released. The community reacts, debates, and eventually assimilates it, and the universe becomes just a little bit bigger and more detailed than it was before. It is a process that can be messy and contentious, but it is ultimately a creative one, and it is the lifeblood of Warhammer 40,000. The galaxy is vast, and there are countless stories yet to be told. The tale of Kesh is just one of them, a single data point in an ocean of narrative possibilities. What truly matters is not any one individual change, but the enduring strength and adaptability of the universe as a whole and its remarkable capacity to contain multitudes. This capacity for internal contradiction is, ironically, what makes it feel so believable. Real history is not a neat, linear narrative. It is a chaotic jumble of conflicting accounts, lost records, and politically motivated revisions. By embracing this messy reality in its own storytelling, 40K achieves a level of verisimilitude that more tightly controlled fictional universes often lack. It feels less like a story being told by a single author and more like a history being uncovered by a multitude of flawed and biased chroniclers. And as we've seen, this allows for a degree of flexibility that is essential for the long-term health of such a sprawling narrative enterprise. It is the system working as intended. Whether you see this specific change as a positive, a negative, or simply an inevitability, it is undeniably a product of the unique storytelling philosophy that lies at the heart of Warhammer 40,000. And it is that philosophy, with all its strengths and weaknesses, that will continue to guide the evolution of the grim, dark future for many years to come. The Emperor's work is never truly done, nor, it seems, is the work of those who chronicle his vast and terrible imperium. There will always be another codex, another campaign book, another novel on the horizon, each promising to reveal new secrets and challenge old certainties. And we, the fans, will be there to dissect every word, to debate every implication, and to continue building our own understanding of this endlessly fascinating universe. The conversation is the point. The engagement is the experience. And the shared passion for this ridiculously over-the-top, grim and glorious setting is what binds this diverse, global community together. The introduction of a single female custodian has only served to prove that once again, demonstrating the incredible vitality that still exists at the core of this hobby. And in the grand scheme of things, that is far more important than any single line of text in a rulebook. The enduring power of the community's connection to the world is the true measure of the IP's success. It ensures that no matter what changes come, the spirit of Warhammer 40,000 will persevere, carried forward by the millions of people who have made its fictional struggles their own. This emotional resonance is the ultimate goal of any work of fiction, to create something that people care about so deeply that it becomes a part of their own identity. By that metric, the ongoing custards debate is not a sign of a problem, but a resounding confirmation of a remarkable and ongoing success. The universe is alive and well. It continues to grow, to change, and to provoke, just as it has for decades. And for those of us who have made the 41st millennium a second home, that is a very reassuring thought indeed. The future remains grim, dark, and full of endless possibilities for new stories and new arguments. The long watch is far from over. The nature of that watch has simply expanded. The sentinels at the heart of the Imperium now have a slightly more diverse face, reflecting a universe that has always had room for the unexpected. The core duty remains the same, to stand guard over that which is most sacred, to be the unyielding wall against the darkness. And that is a duty that transcends any single definition. It is an ideal of service and sacrifice, an embodiment of unwavering loyalty in a galaxy defined by betrayal. Whether that ideal is embodied by a man or a woman is, in the final analysis, a secondary detail compared to the magnitude of the task itself. The essence of the custodian guard, their purpose and their resolve, remains unchanged. And perhaps that is the most important takeaway. While the details of the lore may shift, the core themes and archetypes that make 40K so compelling endure. The struggle against impossible odds, the glimmers of heroism in an age of darkness, the sheer, epic scale of it, all these are the elements that truly define the setting. They are the bedrock upon which the entire edifice is built. And as long as that foundation remains solid, The House of Warhammer 40,000 can weather any storm of controversy, any debate over canonicity, and any change to its long and storied history. The narrative will adapt, the community will engage, and the war for the soul of the galaxy will rage on. It is this fundamental resilience that ensures the IP's longevity. It's not tied to any single, immutable fact, but to a broader set of ideas and a powerful aesthetic that can be reinterpreted and re-examined through different lenses over time. This flexibility is not a weakness, but the key to its survival in an ever-changing cultural landscape. The story of the Imperium is, after all, a story of survival against all odds. It seems only fitting that the narrative framework of the setting itself should share that same tenacious, adaptable quality. It bends so that it does not break, allowing it to incorporate new elements without shattering the entire structure. And so, we are left where we began, with a new piece of lore that has stirred the community and opened up fresh avenues for discussion. It is a reminder that in the 41st millennium, the only constant is change, and the only certainty is war. And for the fans of this universe, there is a strange and enduring comfort to be found in that grim reality. It means there will always be more to talk about, more to explore, and more to be passionate about. The story is never truly over, and the next chapter is always just around the corner, waiting to be discovered and debated. It is a journey without a final destination, and that is precisely what makes it so endlessly compelling for so many people around the world. The Golden Throne may be silent, but the universe it presides over is louder and more vibrant than ever, thanks to the constant conversation and creative energy of its dedicated fanbase. And that is a legacy that any creator would be proud to have built. The age of the Imperium is far from over. It is simply entering a new phase, one where old assumptions can be challenged and the boundaries of the narrative can be expanded. It may be an uncomfortable process at times, but it is a necessary one for any story that wishes to remain relevant and engaging for decades. The Imperium must adapt, or it will die. This principle, so central to the lore of the setting, applies just as much to the real-world management of the IP itself. Stagnation is death, both for fictional empires and for commercial franchises. The changes we are seeing, however they are implemented, are a sign that Games Workshop is actively fighting against that stagnation. They are willing to take risks, to challenge conventions, and to evolve the setting, even if it means courting controversy. And while one can certainly critique the specific methods they employ, the underlying intention to keep the universe alive and dynamic is one that ultimately serves the long-term health of the entire hobby. It is a difficult path to walk, balancing the expectations of a deeply invested existing audience with the need to attract new fans and adapt to a changing world. There will inevitably be missteps along the way, moments where the execution of a change feels clumsy or ill-considered. But the effort to keep moving forward is, in itself, commendable. The worst fate for a universe like 40K would be to become a finished, static museum piece, where all the stories have been told and all the mysteries have been solved. The current approach, for all its flaws, ensures that this will never happen. There will always be a new frontier to explore, a new conflict to erupt, and a new lore bomb to drop. And so, the great conversation continues. Fans will continue to analyze, to argue, to create, and to celebrate this shared universe. And the Custodian Guard, in all their forms, will continue their long watch, standing as a silent testament to the enduring power of a story that has captured the imagination of millions. Their vigil is eternal, and in our own way, so is ours. The sheer scale of this shared imaginative space is something to behold. It is a testament to decades of creative work, not just by the official writers and designers, but by the entire community that has embraced and expanded upon that foundation. Every painted army, every game played, every online discussion adds another small thread to that immense tapestry. This latest thread, the existence of female custodians, will be woven in among the others. At first, it may stand out, its colors seeming brighter or more jarring than those around it. But over time, as more threads are added, it will blend into the whole, becoming an accepted part of the larger design. This is the natural process of narrative evolution. It is how sagas and mythologies have always grown and changed over time, adapting to new storytellers and new audiences. Warhammer 40,000 is simply our modern-day equivalent, a sprawling, living mythology for a secular age. And like all great mythologies, it is robust enough to contain contradictions, to support multiple interpretations, and to evolve without losing its core identity. Its power lies not in its rigidity, but in its capacity to inspire and to adapt. The current debate is simply the most recent proof of that enduring, dynamic power. The universe is big enough to hold all of these possibilities. That is, perhaps, the ultimate truth of the setting. It is a canvas vast enough for any story, any character, and any idea, as long as it is rendered in the appropriate shades of grim darkness. And that is why we will continue to return to it, time and time again. Because in the end, it is not just a game or a collection of books. It is a world. And it is a world that feels real enough to be worth arguing about. That, more than anything else, is the ultimate testament to its success. The watch continues. And as it continues, the details of that watch will inevitably be filled in, clarified, and sometimes altered. The history of the 41st millennium is not a static text, but a living document, constantly being amended and annotated by new generations of scribes. Our role as fans is to read between the lines, to question the sources, and to piece together our own version of the truth. This active engagement is what separates a deep hobby from a passive entertainment. It demands that we think critically about the information we are given, that we weigh evidence, and that we form our own conclusions. The introduction of Kesh is simply the latest test of these critical faculties. It forces us to re-examine our assumptions, to go back to the source material, and to question what we thought we knew about one of the most iconic factions in the setting. It is an intellectual challenge as much as it is an emotional one, and it is this kind of challenge that keeps the lore fresh and engaging. Without these periodic shake-ups, the setting would risk becoming predictable and stale. These moments of controversy, while disruptive, serve a vital purpose in keeping the universe dynamic and preventing complacency among its followers. They remind us that the story is not over and that anything is still possible. And in a universe as famously bleak as Warhammer 40,000, the idea that the future is not yet written is a powerful and surprisingly hopeful one. It means that there are still stories to be told, battles to be won, and secrets to be uncovered. And for as long as that remains true, the appeal of the grim, dark future will be timeless. It is a setting built for the long haul, designed from the ground up to support endless expansion and continuous evolution. This recent development is simply the latest example of that design philosophy in action. It is a sign that the custodians of the IP are still willing to be bold, to take risks, and to push the narrative in new and unexpected directions. And while the community's reaction may be divided, the fact that there is a reaction at all is a sign of a healthy and deeply invested fandom. The day people stop caring about changes to the lore is the day the universe truly begins to die. Judging by the events of the past week, that day is still a very long way off. The Golden Legion now stands a little more diverse than it did before, but its purpose remains the same: to be the final, incorruptible line of defense for the master of mankind. That is the core truth of the Adeptus Custards, and it is a truth that remains unaffected by this new revelation. Their duty endures, and our duty, as followers of this grand, sprawling saga, is to continue to engage with it, to debate it, and to keep its stories alive. This is just one more chapter in a tale that has been unfolding for decades, and will likely continue to unfold for decades more. The scale of it is humbling, and being a small part of that ongoing story is a genuine privilege. So while the arguments may be heated and the opinions strong, it is important to remember that they all come from a place of shared passion. A passion for a universe that has given us all countless hours of enjoyment, inspiration, and escape. And that is something that should unite us, even when the details of the lore seem to drive us apart. The community is, in many ways, as resilient and as fractious as the imperium it so loves to discuss. It is a vast, sprawling entity, full of conflicting ideologies and internal strife, but it is ultimately bound together by a common purpose: to celebrate and preserve the grim, dark, and wonderful universe of Warhammer 40,000. And in that, there is a strange sort of unity. A unity forged in the fires of endless debate and shared enthusiasm. It is the lifeblood of this hobby, and it is what will ensure that we are still talking about this universe, in all its evolving glory, for many, many years to come. The future is uncertain, as it always is in the 41st millennium, but the passion of its fans is not. That passion is the one constant in a universe defined by change. It is the anchor that holds the entire enterprise together, and it is the engine that drives it forward into new and uncharted territory. The story of Warhammer 40,000 is ultimately our story, and we are all writing it together, one argument, one painted model, and one shared experience at a time. The Emperor protects, but the fans sustain, and that sustainment requires new fuel, new ideas, and new conflicts to keep the fires burning. This latest development is simply more fuel for that fire, and it has clearly been effective in stoking the flames of discussion and engagement across the entire community. From a narrative health perspective, that is an unqualified success. It has brought the lore of the custards to the forefront of the community's consciousness, sparked a re-examination of old texts, and generated a massive amount of new content and discussion. It has, in short, made the universe feel alive and relevant. And in the crowded marketplace of modern entertainment, that is a very valuable thing indeed. So, while we can debate the specifics of the implementation, the overall effect has been to reaffirm the deep investment that the community has in this world. And that, in the end, is a positive outcome for everyone who loves this setting. It ensures that the lights will stay on in the grim darkness of the far future for a long time yet. The galaxy is a dangerous and ever-changing place. It is only fitting that our understanding of it should be as well. The process of discovery is ongoing, and the map of the 41st millennium is still being drawn. And that sense of a vast, unfolding mystery is one of the most powerful and enduring appeals of the entire setting. It invites us to be more than just consumers. It invites us to be explorers. And the journey is far more important than any single destination. The conversation this has sparked is just another step on that long, fascinating, and endless journey into the heart of the grim dark. We continue to watch, to learn, and to debate, just as the custards themselves continue their own vigil. Both are endless tasks, defined by patience, dedication, and an unwavering focus on the subject of their devotion. It is a parallel that speaks to the deep connection between the fans and the fiction they so admire. This connection ensures that the world of 40K is more than just a product. It is a shared cultural space, a modern mythology that is being actively shaped by its community. And being a part of that process is a uniquely rewarding experience, even when it involves navigating moments of controversy and disagreement. The journey continues, and with each step, the universe becomes a little richer, a little more complex, and a little more real. This is the slow, sometimes messy, but ultimately vital process of world building in a living, breathing IP. It is a testament to the enduring power of collaborative storytelling on a massive scale. The Emperor's golden guardians have a new face among them, and the story of the Imperium is all the more interesting for it. The ripples from this small change will continue to spread, influencing future stories and our own understanding of the past. And that is precisely as it should be in a universe as dynamic as this. The only truly dead setting is a settled one. By keeping things in flux, by challenging assumptions, Games Workshop ensures that the 41st millennium remains a place of mystery, of danger, and of endless possibility. And that is a future worth fighting for, both on the tabletop and in the forums. The debate is the health of the community made manifest. It shows a level of care and investment that many other franchises would envy. And as long as that care exists, the future of Warhammer 40,000 is secure, no matter how many bombshells the lore may drop on us in the years to come. Our watch is unending. It is a watch we share with millions of others around the globe, all united by a love for this unique and uncompromising vision of the future. And that shared passion is a powerful force, capable of weathering any storm of controversy and turning even the most jarring retcon into just another fascinating chapter in an endless, epic tale. The story is bigger than any one character, any one faction, or any one rulebook. It is a living entity, constantly growing and changing, and we are all privileged to be along for the ride. The next chapter is always waiting, and the conversation will be ready when it arrives. That is the enduring promise of the 41st millennium. A promise of endless war, endless stories, and endless debate. And for the dedicated fans of this grim, dark universe, there is no higher calling. We will continue to analyze, to create, and to argue, keeping the flame of this incredible setting burning bright in an age of encroaching darkness. It is our duty and our pleasure. The custodian guard will continue to protect the Emperor, and we will continue to protect the integrity of their story, each in our own way. It is a symbiotic relationship, a shared vigil that has lasted for decades and shows no signs of ending. The universe endures because we care enough to make it endure, and that is a powerful magic in itself. This magic is what transforms a collection of plastic miniatures and rulebooks into a galaxy-spanning epic. It is the active ingredient in the alchemy of fandom, and it is on full display in the wake of this latest lore development. The reaction is the proof that the spell is still working, that the world still feels real enough to fight for. And as long as that remains true, the future of Warhammer 40,000 is brighter than the Astronomicon. The debates will rage, the armies will clash, and the great story will continue to unfold, fueled by the endless passion of its global community. It is a saga for the ages, and its best chapters may still be yet to come. The universe is constantly expanding, and our understanding of it must expand as well. This is just the latest test of our adaptability as fans. And like the Imperium itself, we will endure, we will adapt, and we will continue to find new reasons to be fascinated by this dark and magnificent setting. The watch continues, now and forever. It is a commitment that many of us have made to follow this story wherever it may lead. And while the path may sometimes be unexpected, it is never, ever dull. That is the ultimate appeal of the 41st millennium. It is a universe that is incapable of being boring, and for that, we can all be grateful. The conversation this has generated is a testament to that fact. A single short story, a single name, has been enough to ignite a firestorm of discussion across the entire internet. That is a sign of a deeply resonant and powerful piece of world building. The foundations are strong enough to support even the most seismic of debates. And when the dust settles, the universe will still be there, a little different, a little bigger, but still fundamentally the same grim, dark, and glorious place we have all come to love. The core identity is unshakable, even as the details evolve. And that is the mark of a truly great and enduring work of fiction. It can withstand the passions of its own fans, absorb their arguments, and emerge stronger and more complex on the other side. This is the process by which a fictional setting becomes a true mythology, a shared cultural touchstone that is passed down and reinterpreted by each new generation. And we are all witnessing it happen in real time. It's a messy, chaotic, and beautiful process, much like the Imperium itself. And being a part of it is a unique and rewarding experience. The story continues, and so does our role as its most passionate chroniclers and critics. The long night of the 41st millennium is far from over, and its tales are still being written. We are both the audience and the participants in this grand narrative. And that dual role is what makes our investment so deep and our reactions so passionate. We are not just consuming a story, we are helping to shape its meaning and its legacy through our engagement. And that is a responsibility that the community takes very seriously indeed. The sheer energy of the debate is proof of that seriousness. It is a sign that the law is not just trivia, but a matter of genuine importance to a great many people. And that is a wonderful thing to see, a testament to the power of shared storytelling to create a vibrant and enduring global culture. The saga continues, and we will be there for every twist and turn, ready to analyze, debate, and celebrate the ongoing evolution of this incredible universe. It is a journey without end, and we would not have it any other way. The grim darkness of the far future is our playground, and there are always new games to be played. The possibilities are, and always will be, endless. This endlessness is the core design principle. The setting is a sandbox, not a railroad. And while the creators may add new toys to the box from time to time, it is ultimately up to the community to decide how to play with them. This latest edition is no different. It is a new element, a new possibility, offered up for our consideration. How it is ultimately integrated into the collective understanding of the law will be determined not just by future official publications, but by the countless conversations, creations, and games that will take place in the months and years to come. The story is a collaboration, whether intentional or not, and that collaboration is what gives the universe its incredible depth and texture. It is a product not of one mind, but of millions of minds, all working together to imagine and inhabit a shared fictional space. And that is a force more powerful than any single author or corporation. It is the true soul of Warhammer 40,000. This soul is what we are all tapping into when we engage in these debates. It is a connection to a vast, collective act of imagination that has been ongoing for decades. And it is what ensures that the universe will continue to thrive and to surprise us long into the future. The conversation is the lifeblood, and it is flowing stronger than ever. The Golden Guardians of Terror now stand as a symbol of that ongoing evolution. They are a reminder that even the most ancient and seemingly immutable institutions of the Imperium are not immune to change. And if they can adapt, then so can we as a community. The process of change is the only constant. And embracing that constant is the key to enjoying this hobby for the long term. It is a commitment to the journey, not to a fixed destination. And it is a journey that promises to be full of many more surprises, many more debates, and many more opportunities to be amazed by the depth and richness of this incredible setting. The watch is long, the night is dark, but the conversation provides a welcome light. And as long as we keep talking, keep creating, and keep caring, that light will never be extinguished. The spirit of the community is the true Emperor's light, and it shines as brightly as ever. The future is in good hands, ours. The collective hands of a global community that has taken this grim, dark universe and made it its own. And that is a legacy that is truly worth defending, one debate at a time. The work of a fan is never done, and thank the Emperor for that. It is the best work there is. It is a work of passion, of creativity, and of shared discovery. And it is what makes this hobby so much more than just a game. It is a shared world, a common language, and a vibrant culture. And it is a culture that is strong enough to handle any change that is thrown at it. The foundations are solid. They are built on decades of shared stories and collective imagination. And that is a fortress that no single controversy can ever hope to breach. The community will debate, it will adapt, and it will endure, just like the Imperium it loves. And the great story of the 41st millennium will march ever onward, into new eras with new challenges and new revelations. It is a living, breathing saga, and we are all fortunate enough to be living within it. The next chapter awaits, and the discussion is already beginning. The cycle is endless, and it is glorious. The sheer narrative momentum of a setting this large is a force of nature. It sweeps up new ideas and controversies and integrates them into its ongoing flow, smoothing their rough edges over time until they become just another part of the established landscape. This is the process we are witnessing now. It is the universe's immune system at work, identifying a foreign element and slowly, painstakingly making it a part of the whole. And the antibodies in this metaphor are the thousands of discussions, arguments, and creative works produced by the fan community in response. It is a chaotic but ultimately effective process, and it is a process that has been repeated countless times throughout the history of the IP. From the squats to the primaris, the universe has a long history of absorbing major changes and moving on, stronger and more detailed than before. This latest development is simply the next step in that long and storied evolution. And it is a step that, for all the controversy, opens up new doors for storytelling. It allows for new perspectives within the most elite echelons of the imperium, new character dynamics, and new ways to explore the themes of perfection and duty that are so central to the custodian guard. The potential is there. Whether that potential is realized will depend on the skill of the writers who follow. But the opportunity has been created. A new color has been added to the narrative palette, and it is now up to the artists to decide how to use it. And as fans, we get to watch that new picture take shape, one brushstroke at a time. It is a fascinating process to be a part of, a real-time look into the mechanics of building and maintaining a modern mythology. And it is a process that is far from over. The story of the 41st millennium is still being written, and we are all reading along with the first draft. It is a messy, exciting, and ultimately rewarding experience. The Golden Guardians will continue their watch, and we will continue ours. Both are tasks that require patience, vigilance, and a deep and abiding faith in the thing being guarded. For them, it is the Emperor. For us, it is the integrity and wonder of his universe, and both are vigils worth keeping. The conversation this has sparked is a testament to the depth of that faith. It shows that the universe is not just a backdrop for a game, but a real, living entity in the minds of its followers. And that is a level of success that few works of fiction ever achieve. It is the mark of a true cultural phenomenon, and it is a phenomenon that shows no signs of slowing down. The debates will eventually fade, but the passion that fueled them will remain, ready to be ignited by the next surprising revelation. That is the enduring engine of this community, and it is what will power the hobby for generations to come. The future is secure. It is a future that will be shaped by the ongoing dialogue between the creators and the community. A dialogue that is sometimes contentious, sometimes celebratory, but always passionate. And it is this dialogue that ensures that the 41st millennium will never become a static or predictable place. The chaos is a feature, not a bug. It is the creative chaos from which new stories and new ideas are born. And it is the reason why, after all these years, this universe still feels so vital and so full of untapped potential. The journey into the grim darkness is far from over, and there are still countless wonders and horrors to be discovered along the way. The watch continues, and the story unfolds. And we, the dedicated legion of fans, will be there for every moment of it, ready to analyze, to debate, and to celebrate the endless, glorious saga of the 41st millennium. For the Emperor and for the story. The two are, in many ways, one and the same. They are the central pillars upon which this entire universe is built. And as long as they remain strong, the edifice of Warhammer 40,000 will stand, a towering monument to the power of shared imagination. It is a legacy that we are all a part of, and it is a legacy that will endure. The golden light of terror may be failing, but the creative light of its community burns as brightly as ever. And it is this light that will guide us through the darkness, illuminating new corners of the lore and ensuring that the story of humanity's darkest hour is never truly over. It is a tale for the ages, and it is still being told. We are its scribes, its scholars, and its most fervent believers, and our work is never done. The next codex is always on the horizon, the next novel always waiting to be read. And with each new release comes the promise of new knowledge, new controversies, and new reasons to be passionate about this incredible shared world. The cycle is the lifeblood, the debate is the heartbeat, and the universe is the result. A vast, chaotic, and endlessly fascinating creation that has captured the hearts and minds of millions. And that is a remarkable achievement, one worth celebrating, even in the midst of the most heated of arguments. The story lives on. And as long as it lives, we will be there to witness it, to engage with it, and to be a part of its ongoing evolution. It is a privilege and a pleasure, and it is the core of what makes this hobby so special. The grim darkness is our home, and we would not have it any other way. The vigil is eternal. It is kept not only by golden armored demigods, but by a global army of fans, all united by a single, powerful idea. The idea of a future so dark, so vast, and so rich that it can contain any story, any character, and any possibility. And that is an idea that will never grow old. It is as timeless as the stars themselves. And as we gaze up at those fictional stars, we are reminded of the incredible scope of this shared project. We are all contributing to a modern mythology, a grand, sprawling epic that will be remembered and retold for generations. And that is a truly awe-inspiring thought. The legacy is secure. It is secured not by corporate edict, but by the passion and dedication of the community that has made this universe its own. A community that is strong enough to weather any controversy, to absorb any change, and to continue its long, glorious watch over the grim darkness of the far future. Our duty is clear, and our resolve is absolute. We will keep the flame of this universe burning through discussion, through creation, and through our shared love for its dark and wonderful tales. It is a mission we have all chosen, and it is a mission that will never end. For in the grim darkness of the far future there is only war, and for its fans there is only the story. A story that we will continue to tell, to debate, and to cherish, now and for all time. The golden throne may be silent, but its followers are not. And it is in their voices, in their passion, and in their endless debates that the true spirit of the 44th millennium is to be found. And that spirit is immortal. It is an energy that transcends any single rule change or law addition. It is the collective will of a community that has fallen in love with the universe and has committed to being a part of its ongoing story. And that is a force that is as powerful and as unstoppable as any army in the 41st millennium. The fans endure. And through their endurance, the universe itself is given life. It is a beautiful, symbiotic relationship that lies at the heart of this entire hobby. And it is the reason why, after nearly 40 years, the grim darkness of the far future feels more alive and more relevant than ever before. The story is in good hands. They are the hands of the millions of people who care about it, who engage with it, and who keep its spirit alive through their passion and their creativity. And that is a force that will ensure that the saga of Warhammer 40,000 continues for a long, long time to come. The future is dark, but the community is a beacon of creativity, of passion, and of unwavering dedication. And it is this beacon that illuminates the path forward, guiding the universe through periods of change and controversy. The watch continues, and the light of the community will not fail. It is a light that has been burning for decades, and it is brighter now than it has ever been. This is the true state of the hobby in the 41st millennium. Not a community in crisis over a single law change, but a community more engaged, more passionate, and more vibrant than ever before. The debate is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of incredible, enduring strength. The universe is thriving. It thrives on this energy, on this passion, on this constant conversation. And as long as the fans continue to care this deeply, its future is assured. The golden guardians of terror may have a new face in their ranks, but the true guardians of the setting, the global community of fans, remain as steadfast and as vigilant as ever. Their watch is unending, their passion is limitless, and their dedication is the true foundation upon which this entire universe is built. It is a foundation that has proven, time and again, that it is more than strong enough to support the weight of any change, any controversy, or any challenge. The story is safe. It is safe in the hands of those who love it most, and that is the best possible place for it to be. The grim darkness of the far future is a shared dream, and it is a dream that is still being dreamt by millions of people all over the world. And it is a dream from which we have no desire to wake. The saga continues, and we will continue to be a part of it in all its messy, chaotic, and wonderful glory. For that is the true calling of a fan, not just to consume, but to engage, to participate, and to contribute to the ongoing life of the worlds we love. And in the world of Warhammer 40,000, that calling is answered every single day. The conversation is the proof, the passion is the evidence, and the enduring popularity of the setting is the verdict. The universe is healthy, it is dynamic, and it is here to stay. And that is the best news that any fan could ever hope for. The future is secure, and it is gloriously grim. We can rest easy in the knowledge that the stories will continue, the debates will rage, and the universe will continue to evolve in new and exciting ways. The Long Watch is a shared one, and there is a profound sense of community to be found in that shared purpose. We are all in this together. And together, we will continue to explore the endless depths of the 41st millennium, to uncover its secrets, and to celebrate its dark and epic tales. It is a journey that we have all chosen to take, and it is a journey that is far from over. The next chapter is always just beginning. This sense of perpetual beginning is what keeps the setting so fresh. It is not a story with an end, but a stage upon which endless stories can be told. And this latest development has simply added a new actor to that stage, opening up a fresh set of possibilities for future dramas. The play goes on, and we, the audience, are as much a part of the performance as the actors themselves. Our reactions, our interpretations, and our discussions all contribute to the meaning and the impact of the story. It is a truly interactive form of storytelling, and it is at the heart of what makes 40K so compelling. It is a world that invites you in, that asks for your engagement, and that rewards that engagement with a sense of belonging and shared ownership. And that is a rare and precious thing in the modern entertainment landscape. It is the secret ingredient that has made this hobby a global phenomenon. A phenomenon that is built on a foundation of deep, passionate, and sometimes contentious engagement. The current debate is just the latest expression of that core dynamic. It is the system working exactly as it should, a sign that the connection between the universe and its fans is as strong and as vital as ever. The Golden Guardians of Terror are not the only ones with a long and storied history. The community that follows their tales has its own epic history of debates, of creative outpourings, and of shared passion. And this is just the latest chapter in that equally fascinating story. A story of a community that loves a universe so much, it is willing to fight for it. And that is a fight that ultimately strengthens the very thing it seeks to protect. The scrutiny, the passion, and the debate all serve to make the universe richer, more considered, and more real. It is a chaotic but ultimately constructive process, and it is the engine of this entire hobby. The Watch is a creative act, an act that we all participate in every time we engage with the lore. We are not just passive observers, we are active participants in the ongoing creation of a modern mythology. And that is a role that is both a privilege and a profound responsibility, one that the community takes to heart. The result is a universe that feels more alive, more detailed, and more real than almost any other. A universe that is worth arguing about, worth creating for, and worth dedicating a lifetime of passion to. The grim darkness is a canvas, and we are all artists, adding our own small strokes to a masterpiece that is never truly finished. And that is its ultimate beauty. It is a work in progress, a collaborative epic that is being written in real time by a global community. And being a part of that is an experience unlike any other. The story continues, and we are all a part of it. The vigil is a shared one, and it is a glorious one. The Emperor may be silent, but his universe is anything but. It is a cacophony of voices, all arguing, creating, and celebrating a shared passion. And that is a sound that is more beautiful and more powerful than any celestial choir. It is the sound of a universe that is truly alive, and it is a universe that we are all lucky to be a part of. The journey continues, the debates will rage, and the grim darkness will continue to inspire and to fascinate us for many years to come. The Long Watch is our sacred duty, and it is one we will continue to perform with passion and with pride. The story is in our hands, and it is a story that is big enough to hold all of our dreams, all of our arguments, and all of our creations. It is a universe of infinite possibility, and we have only just begun to scratch the surface of its mysteries. The adventure is ongoing, and the best is yet to come. That is the enduring promise of the 41st millennium, a promise of endless discovery, of endless conflict, and of endless fascination. And it is a promise that has been kept for nearly 4 decades. The foundations are strong, the community is vibrant, and the future is as dark and as full of potential as ever. The saga of Warhammer 40,000 is just getting started, and we will be there for every step of the journey, ready to engage with whatever new wonders and horrors the grim darkness has in store for us. It is a commitment that we have all made, and it is a commitment that we will continue to honor. The watch is eternal, and so is our passion. The golden light of the Astronomicon may be a beacon for ships in the warp, but the passion of the community is the beacon that guides the narrative itself. It is the force that gives the universe its direction, its depth, and its enduring appeal. And it is a force that is as strong and as indomitable as any legion of space marines. The fans are the true guardians of this galaxy, and their watch will never end. The story is safe because it is loved, and that is the most powerful protection that any work of fiction could ever hope to have. The universe is in good hands, the hands of those who care about it the most, and that is a thought that should bring comfort to every fan, regardless of their position on any single issue. The collective passion of the community is the ultimate guarantee of the IP's longevity and its integrity. We are all custodians of this legacy, and it is a legacy that we will continue to build together. The conversation is the work, the passion is the tool, and the universe is the ever-expanding masterpiece that we are all creating in unison. It is a beautiful, chaotic, and wonderful process, and it is the heart and soul of this incredible hobby. The story continues, and it is our story to tell. A story of a dark and terrible future and of the community that fell in love with it. A community that is as passionate, as dedicated, and as eternal as the heroes and villains it so admires. A community that is the true, living embodiment of the spirit of Warhammer 40,000. And that is a legacy worth celebrating. The watch continues, and the community stands vigilant, ready to defend, to debate, and to celebrate the universe that has brought us all together. The future is uncertain, but our commitment is not. We are here to stay, and the story will go on. The Emperor protects, and the fans preserve. And through that preservation, the universe is given a life and a reality that transcends the page and the tabletop. It becomes a shared cultural space, a modern mythology that is constantly being retold and reinterpreted. And that is a truly magical thing to be a part of. The saga is eternal. It is eternal because we make it so. Our passion, our creativity, and our endless debates are the fuel that keeps the fires of this universe burning. And as long as we continue to care, that fire will never go out. The grim darkness is illuminated by the light of its own fandom, and that is a light that will never fade. The conversation this week has been a testament to the brightness of that light. It has shown, once again, that the heart of this hobby is strong, vibrant, and deeply passionate. And that is the best possible sign for the future of the grim dark. The story is alive and well, and it is in the best possible hands. Ours. The collective, caring, and wonderfully argumentative hands of the global Warhammer 40,000 community. a community that is the true, enduring soul of this incredible universe. And that is a truth that is more powerful and more important than any single line of lore. The fans are the foundation, and that foundation is rock solid. The debates will pass, the controversies will fade, but the passion that fuels them will remain. It is the one constant in a universe of change, and it is the ultimate guarantee that the stories we love will continue for many, many years to come. The future is dark, but the community's spirit is bright, and that is all that truly matters. The watch continues, and the spirit of the community stands as the ultimate guardian of this incredible legacy. A legacy that we are all building together, one debate, one painted model, and one shared story at a time. The work is endless, and it is the best work in the world. The saga is in good hands, and it is a saga that is constantly growing, constantly changing, and constantly surprising us. And that is what makes it so endlessly compelling. The journey into the grim darkness is a journey without a final destination, and that is the way we would all want it. The adventure is the reward, an adventure that we share with millions of others around the globe. A grand, collective exploration of a universe that has captured our imaginations and our hearts. And that is a bond that is stronger than any disagreement over the finer points of the law. We are a community, first and foremost. A community united by a shared love for a dark and magnificent universe. And as long as we remember that, the future of this hobby is as bright as the golden throne itself. The watch continues, and we keep it together. That is our strength, and that is our promise. The story will endure, because we will ensure that it does. Our passion is the ultimate preservative, the force that keeps this nearly 40-year-old universe as vital and as relevant as ever. And that is a legacy that we can all be proud to be a part of. The grim darkness is our shared creation, and it is a magnificent one. The conversation this week is just another brushstroke on that vast and ever-expanding canvas. It adds a new color, a new texture, and a new point of interest. And it makes the final masterpiece all the richer and all the more complex. The process is messy, but the result is beautiful. A beautiful, terrible, and endlessly fascinating universe that we are all privileged to explore. And as we continue that exploration, we can be certain of one thing. There will always be new discoveries to be made, new mysteries to be uncovered, and new arguments to be had. And that is the enduring magic of the 41st millennium, a magic that is fueled by the passion of its fans, a magic that has created one of the most vibrant and dedicated communities in the world, and a magic that will ensure that the grim darkness of the far future continues to shine brightly for many, many years to come. The watch is eternal, and so is our love for this incredible saga. The golden guardians of terror may have their secrets, but the true secret of Warhammer 40,000 success is no secret at all. It is the unwavering passion of its global community, and that is a force more powerful than any army, more enduring than any empire, and more creative than any god. The fans are the heart of the setting, and that heart is beating as strongly as ever. The debates, the creations, and the endless discussions are the proof. The universe is alive and well, and it is thriving on the energy of those who love it most. And that is a truly wonderful thing to behold. The saga continues, stronger than ever before. It is a testament to the power of a great idea, executed with passion and embraced by a community that has made it its own. And that is a story that is as inspiring as any of the epic tales told within the lore itself. The legacy of Warhammer 40,000 is not just one of grim darkness, but also one of incredible creativity and shared passion. And that is a legacy that we are all a part of. We are the custodians of this incredible universe, and it is a responsibility that we all share. To keep the stories alive, to keep the conversation going, and to ensure that the grim darkness of the far future remains a place of endless wonder and fascination. Our watch is a sacred one, a watch over a shared world that has given us all so much. And it is a watch that we will continue to keep with passion, with dedication, and with an unwavering belief in the power of this incredible story. The future is uncertain, but our commitment to this universe is not. The story is in our hands, and it is safe, because it is loved. And that love is the most powerful force in this or any other universe. It is the engine of creation, the fuel of passion, and the ultimate guarantee of immortality. The story of Warhammer 40,000 is immortal because we have made it so, and that is a legacy that will last forever. The Golden Guardians of Terror stand as a symbol of that immortality, an unchanging watch over an eternal master. But the universe they inhabit is anything but unchanging. It is a place of constant flux, of endless war, and of perpetual evolution. And it is in that dynamic tension that the true magic of the setting is to be found. A magic that has captivated a global audience for decades, and that shows no signs of fading. The debates will come and go, but the universe will endure, made stronger and richer by the very passions that these controversies ignite. It is a self-sustaining ecosystem of creativity and engagement, and we are all a part of that ecosystem. We are the predators and the prey, the creators and the consumers, the arguers and the peacemakers. And it is this complex interplay of roles that makes the community so vibrant and so resilient. It is a reflection of the very universe it celebrates. A universe of endless conflict, of shifting alliances, and of unwavering belief. A universe that is as complex, as contradictory, and as compelling as human nature itself. And that is why it resonates so deeply with so many people. It is a dark mirror, reflecting our own world in all its terrible and glorious complexity. And as we gaze into that mirror, we are reminded of the power of stories to shape our understanding of ourselves and our world. The stories of the 41st millennium are more than just entertainment. They are a modern mythology, a shared cultural language that allows us to explore the most profound questions of existence. What is the price of survival? What is the nature of belief? What does it mean to be human in a universe that is hostile to the very idea of humanity? These are the questions that lie at the heart of Warhammer 40,000, and they are the questions that will keep us coming back time and time again. The details of the lore are the entry point, but the depth of the themes is the reason we stay. And as long as the stories continue to grapple with these big ideas, the setting will remain relevant and powerful. The introduction of a new type of custodian is just a footnote in that larger, more important narrative. A narrative that is about the struggle for meaning in a meaningless universe. A struggle that is fought not just by the characters in the stories, but by the fans who engage with them. We are all searching for our own truths in the grim darkness, and that shared quest is what binds us together as a community. It is a quest that is as endless as the universe itself, and it is a quest that we are all privileged to be on together. The watch continues, the search continues, and the story continues to unfold, revealing new mysteries and new challenges with every passing chapter. The journey is the destination, and it is a journey that we are all taking together as a global community of fans. United by a shared love for a universe that is as dark as it is deep, as brutal as it is beautiful, and as hopeless as it is full of endless possibility. That is the paradox of the 41st millennium, and it is the source of its enduring power. A power that has created one of the most passionate and dedicated fan communities in the world. A community that is the true living legacy of this incredible setting. A community that will continue to watch, to create, and to debate, ensuring that the grim darkness of the far future never truly fades to black. The light of the community is too strong. It is a beacon of passion that has been burning for decades, and it shows no signs of dimming. The universe is safe in its glow. The story will continue, and we will be there to see it. That is our promise, and that is our purpose. The watch is our calling, a calling that we have all answered. To be the guardians of a shared world, the chroniclers of its epic tales, and the participants in its ongoing story. It is a role that we have all embraced, and it is a role that we will continue to fulfill with passion and with dedication. The legacy is in our hands. And it is a legacy that is constantly growing, constantly changing, and constantly surprising us. And that is what makes it so exciting to be a part of. The story of Warhammer 40,000 is not a relic of the past. It is a living, breathing entity that is evolving in real time. And we are all witnessing that evolution. It is a messy, chaotic, and wonderful process, and it is the heart and soul of this incredible hobby. The debates are the sign that the heart is still beating, and it is beating as strongly as ever. The universe is alive and well, and its future is as bright as 1,000 burning worlds. A future that will be shaped by the ongoing dialogue between the creators and the community. A future that will be full of new stories, new challenges, and new reasons to be passionate about this incredible shared world. The journey is far from over, and the best is yet to come. The watch continues, and the story unfolds. And we will be there for every chapter, ready to engage, to debate, and to celebrate the endless, glorious saga of the 41st millennium. It is a commitment that we have all made, and it is a commitment that we will continue to honor. The grim darkness is our home, and we will continue to explore its every corner. The adventure is ongoing, and the possibilities are limitless. That is the enduring promise of Warhammer 40,000, and it is a promise that has been kept for nearly 4 decades. The foundations are strong, the community is vibrant, and the future is as dark and as full of potential as ever. The saga of the grim dark is eternal, and we are its eternal audience, its eternal critics, and its eternal champions. A role that we have all chosen, and a role that we would not trade for anything. The universe is a part of us, and we are a part of it, and that is a bond that can never be broken. The watch is a labor of love, a love for a universe that has given us so much. A universe that continues to inspire, to challenge, and to fascinate us with every new release. A universe that is more than just a game. It is a shared world, a common language, and a global community. And that is something truly special. Something worth defending, something worth celebrating, and something worth dedicating a lifetime of passion to. The grim darkness of the far future is a precious thing, and it is in the best possible hands. The hands of the millions of fans who love it, who live it, and who will ensure that its stories are never forgotten. The legacy is secure, not in a vault on Terra, but in the hearts and minds of the community that has made this universe its own. And that is a fortress that can never be breached. The spirit of Warhammer 40,000 is immortal, and it is a spirit that we all share. The watch continues, and the light of that spirit will never fade. It is the light that guides us through the darkness, the light that inspires our creativity, and the light that binds us together as a community. It is the most powerful force in the 41st millennium, and it is a force that is wielded by us all. The future is bright, because we will make it so. Through our passion, through our creativity, and through our unwavering commitment to this incredible shared world. The story of Warhammer 40,000 is our story, and it is a story that is far from over. The next chapter is waiting to be written, and we will all have a hand in writing it. The journey continues, and it is a journey that we are all on together. A grand, collective adventure into the heart of the grim darkness. And it is an adventure that promises to be full of many more surprises, many more debates, and many more reasons to be passionate about this incredible universe. The saga is ongoing, and we are all a part of it. A part of a living, breathing story that is constantly evolving. A story that is shaped not just by its creators, but by the community that has embraced it so wholeheartedly. And that is what makes it so unique, so powerful, and so enduring. The universe is a collaboration between millions of people all over the world, a shared act of imagination on an unprecedented scale. And being a small part of that is a truly wonderful thing. The story continues, and we are all helping to tell it. The Watch is a creative partnership. A partnership that has lasted for decades, and that will continue for decades more. The foundations are strong, the community is passionate, and the universe is as full of potential as ever. The future of the grim dark is secure because it is in the hands of those who love it most. And that is a comforting thought indeed. The debates will come and go, but the love for the universe will remain. It is the one constant in a setting defined by change. And it is the ultimate guarantee that the stories we cherish will continue to be told for many, many years to come. The watch is a testament to that love, a love that is shared by millions of people around the globe, a love that has created one of tribulations and challenges, so it is only fitting that the community reflects this. A community that is as passionate, dedicated, and occasionally argumentative as the factions it adores. This reflection is what lends the fandom its unique character and its incredible resilience. The introduction of a female custodian is, in this context, just another log on the fire of this passionate engagement. It has served its purpose by stoking the flames of discussion, ensuring that the universe remains at the forefront of the cultural conversation within the hobby space. It has proven once again that the 40K community is one of the most engaged and reactive in the world, and this engagement is the true measure of the setting's health. A silent fandom is a dying fandom. A loud, argumentative, passionate fandom is one that is deeply invested and thriving. By this metric, the universe of Warhammer 40,000 is in ruder health than it has been for a very long time. The noise is a sign of life, a vibrant, chaotic, and wonderfully creative life that permeates every aspect of the hobby. From the highest levels of lore creation to the individual hobbyist painting a single model, this energy is the common thread that binds it all together. It is the spirit of the setting made manifest, a testament to the enduring power of a great idea. And the idea of the custodian guard as the ultimate, perfect protectors is one of the most powerful in the entire setting. Broadening the scope of who can embody that ideal does not diminish it, but rather strengthens it. It suggests that the perfection they represent is not tied to a single biological form, but to a higher standard of duty, sacrifice, and martial prowess. This interpretation allows the archetype to become more universal, more resonant. It shifts the focus from the physical form to the spiritual commitment, which has always been the more compelling aspect of their character. They are defined not by what they are, but by what they do, their unending, thankless vigil at the heart of the imperium. And that is a role that is so profound, so epic, that it should be capable of being filled by any individual who can meet its impossible standards. The lore itself, with its descriptions of radical, foundational bioalchemy, has always supported this possibility. The recent change is simply making that implicit potential an explicit reality. The initial shock of that explicitness is understandable, given the decades of established convention. But as that shock fades, what is left is a vision of the custodian guard that is, in many ways, more compelling and more thematically rich than what came before. It speaks to a perfection that is of the soul and the will, not merely of the flesh. And that is a concept that is very much in keeping with the core themes of Warhammer 40,000, a universe where faith and willpower can literally reshape reality. In such a universe, the idea that the ultimate guardians would be defined by their commitment rather than their chromosomes feels not just plausible, but entirely fitting. It is a small change in the text, but a significant evolution in the underlying philosophy of the faction. And it is this kind of thoughtful evolution that will ensure the setting remains compelling and relevant for decades to come. It shows a willingness to look beyond the surface details and to engage with the deeper, more resonant ideas that make this universe so special. The watch continues, and the guardians who keep it are now a more complete reflection of the humanity they are sworn to protect. A humanity that is diverse, resilient, and capable of achieving perfection through sacrifice and unwavering devotion to a cause greater than themselves. And that is a powerful and inspiring message, even in the darkest of futures. It is a glimmer of a more complex and nuanced understanding of the Imperium, a hint that even in its most rigid institutions, there is room for unexpected diversity. And it is these glimmers of complexity that make the world feel so rich and so real. It is not a monolith, but a mosaic of countless different pieces. This new piece may not fit perfectly at first glance, but with time, its place in the larger picture will become clear. And the mosaic as a whole will be all the more intricate and all the more beautiful for its inclusion. The story of the Imperium is still being written, and its final form is a mystery to us all. And that is the beauty of it, the sense of an unfolding saga, a history that is still in the making. We are not just looking back at a completed tale, we are living through the telling of it. And that is a uniquely exciting and engaging experience for any fan of fiction. The journey is the reward. And the journey of Warhammer 40,000 is one of the grandest and most epic in all of modern storytelling. We are all fortunate to be on it together. The watch continues, the story unfolds, and the community stands ready to meet whatever new challenges and wonders the grim darkness has in store. The future is uncertain, but it will not be dull. That is the one promise that Warhammer 40,000 has always kept, and it is a promise that has been renewed once again by this latest, fascinating development. The conversation will rage, the painters will paint, the players will play, and the great, glorious saga of the 41st millennium will march ever onward. It is a good time to be a fan, a time of change, of debate, and of vibrant community engagement. A time when the universe feels more alive and more full of potential than ever before. The Golden Guardians stand watch over a new era, and we are all privileged to be here to see it dawn. The story is just beginning again. And that sense of perpetual renewal is the true secret to the setting's longevity. It is never allowed to grow old, to become static. It is constantly being reinvented, re-examined, and reborn through new stories and new ideas. And that is why it will continue to capture the imagination of new generations for many years to come. The foundation is strong, the spirit is willing, and the community is as passionate as ever. The future of the grim dark is in very good hands. The watch continues, and the saga is eternal. We are all custodians of that saga, and it is a duty that we will continue to perform with honor and with joy. The story lives, and as long as it lives, there will be a community to celebrate it, to debate it, and to keep its flame burning bright. That is the enduring legacy of this incredible universe. A legacy of shared passion, of boundless creativity, and of a story so compelling that it has become a real and vital part of the lives of millions of people around the world. That is a power that transcends any single game or any single book. It is the power of a modern mythology, and we are all a part of its telling. The watch is a shared one, and it is a sacred one, and it is a watch that will never, ever end. The story is forever, and we are its forever fans, committed to following its twists and turns, to celebrating its triumphs, and to debating its controversies. It is a commitment that we have all made, and it is a commitment that defines our community. A community of passion, of creativity, and of unwavering love for the grim darkness of the far future. And that is a beautiful thing, a beacon of shared enthusiasm in a world that can often feel divided. In the universe of 40K, we are all united. United by a love for a story that is as dark as it is deep, as brutal as it is brilliant. And that is a unity that can withstand any debate. The community endures, and through its endurance, the universe thrives. It is a perfect, self-sustaining cycle of creativity and passion. And it is the reason why, after all these years, the 41st millennium still feels like the most exciting place in fiction. The adventure is ongoing, and we are all on it together. The watch continues. A watch that is kept not just on Terra, but in homes, in game stores, and on forums all over the world. A watch that is kept by a diverse and dedicated army of fans. And it is this army that is the true, ultimate guardian of the legacy of Warhammer 40,000. A legacy that is safe in their passionate hands. The future of the grim dark is not written in any book. It is written in the hearts and minds of the community that loves it. And that is a story that is still unfolding, a story that we are all writing together every single day. The saga is ours, and it is a glorious one. The Golden Guardians of the Emperor are just one part of that saga, an important part, to be sure, but only a part. The true story is the story of the universe itself, in all its sprawling, chaotic glory. And it is a story that is big enough to contain any possibility, any character, and any change. That is its greatest strength, its boundless capacity for new ideas, new conflicts, and new wonders. And as long as that capacity remains, the universe will continue to be a source of endless fascination and inspiration. The watch continues, and the possibilities are infinite, and that is a thrilling thought. The idea that after all these years, we have still only scratched the surface of what this universe has to offer. The age of discovery is not over, it is just beginning, and we are all on the front lines of that exploration. The journey is the true adventure. A shared adventure that has brought millions of people together. A journey into a universe that has become a second home for so many of us. And it is a journey that we will continue to take together for many, many years to come. The watch is a shared one, and it is a joyful one. A celebration of a universe that has given us all so much. A universe that continues to challenge, to inspire, and to amaze us with its depth and its darkness. And that is a gift that is truly priceless. The saga is a treasure, and we are all its guardians. A duty that we perform with pride, with passion, and with an endless supply of arguments. It is the way of our people, the way of the fan. And it is a way that has served this universe well for nearly 4 decades. The system works, the community thrives, and the story goes on. And that is all that really matters. The details will change, the lore will evolve, but the spirit of the setting and the spirit of the community that loves it will remain constant. A spirit of passion, of creativity, and of unwavering devotion to the grim darkness of the far future. And that is a spirit that is truly eternal. The watch is forever, and we are its forever keepers. A global community bound by a shared love for a story that has become a part of our lives. It is a powerful bond, and it is a bond that will endure any controversy. The universe is safe because we are here to protect it. The story is in good hands, the best hands, the hands of the fans. And that is a guarantee of a bright, if grim, future for the 41st millennium. The saga will continue, the debates will rage, and the universe will continue to be the most exciting place in fiction. And we will be there for all of it. The watch is our pleasure, a pleasure that we share with millions of others. A collective joy in the exploration of a dark and magnificent universe. And that joy is the true heart of this hobby. It is the reason we play, the reason we paint, and the reason we argue. It is all born from a place of love, a love for a universe that is as deep and as complex as any in fiction. A universe that has become a true cultural phenomenon, and a universe that is still full of secrets, still full of surprises, and still full of endless potential. The journey is far from over. The watch continues. And as long as it does, there will be a community there to see it, to debate it, and to celebrate it. A community that is the true living legacy of Warhammer 40,000. A legacy of passion, of creativity, and of an enduring love for the greatest Gothic sci-fi universe ever created. The story is immortal, because we have made it so. Through our engagement, through our creativity, and through our unwavering commitment, we have given this universe a life that extends far beyond the printed page. It is a shared world, a living mythology, and it is a part of us all. And that is a truly wonderful thing. The Golden Guardians of Terror may be the Emperor's companions, but we, the fans, are the companions of his universe. And it is a companionship that will last a lifetime. The watch is a bond, and it is a bond that will never be broken. The saga is eternal because our passion is eternal. And that passion is the ultimate guarantee that the grim darkness of the far future will continue to shine brightly for generations to come. The universe is in good hands, the best hands. The hands of the millions of people who love it more than any other. And that is a beautiful and reassuring thought. The watch continues. And with it, the story continues to unfold, revealing new facets of this incredible universe with every passing year. It is a living, breathing saga, and we are all privileged to be a part of its ongoing creation. The journey is a collaborative one, and it is a journey without end. And that is the true magic of the 41st millennium, a magic that has captured our hearts, our minds, and our imaginations. A magic that will continue to inspire and to fascinate us for as long as the stories are told. And a magic that ensures that the grim darkness will never truly be dark, for it is always illuminated by the bright, passionate light of its incredible community. That light is the true astronomicon, guiding the universe forward into an uncertain but exciting future. And it is a light that is fueled by the energy of every fan, every debate, and every act of creation. It is the soul of the hobby, and it is burning as brightly as ever. The watch continues, and the future is bright. A grim, dark, and wonderfully bright future, full of endless war, endless stories, and endless passion. And we would not have it any other way. The universe is perfect in its imperfection, and we are all proud to call it our own. The saga is our saga, and it is a glorious one. The Golden Guardians stand as a testament to that glory, a symbol of perfection in an imperfect age. And as their story evolves, so too does the story of the universe they protect. It is a constant, dynamic process of change and growth. And it is a process that we are all a part of, a process that is messy, that is contentious, and that is ultimately creative. It is the process by which a fictional world becomes a living, breathing reality in the minds of its followers. And it is a process that is on full display in the wake of this latest law development. The system is working. The community is engaged. The universe is evolving, and the story is moving forward. And that is all that any fan could ever truly ask for. The details may be debatable, but the overall health and vitality of the setting are beyond question. The grim darkness is thriving, and it is thriving because of the passion of the people who love it. A passion that is as fierce as any warrior, as creative as any artist, and as enduring as any ancient evil. It is the ultimate force in the 41st millennium, and it is a force that is wielded by us all. The watch continues, and the passion endures. And as long as that passion endures, the future of Warhammer 40,000 is secure. The stories will continue, the debates will rage, and the universe will continue to be the most exciting and dynamic place in all of fiction. And we will be there for every glorious, grim, and dark moment of it. The journey is our shared destiny, a destiny that we have all chosen, to be the fans, the guardians, and the participants in the greatest saga ever told. It is a role that we have all embraced, and it is a role that we will continue to fulfill with pride and with passion. The story is in our hands, and it is a story that will never end. The watch is eternal, and so is the community that keeps it. A global, passionate, and wonderfully argumentative community that is the true heart and soul of this incredible hobby. A community that has taken a dark and terrible future and made it a bright and welcoming home. And that is a truly remarkable achievement. An achievement that is built on decades of shared love, shared creativity, and shared debate. The current controversy is just the latest chapter in that long and storied history. And like all the chapters before it, it will ultimately serve to make the community and the universe it loves stronger, richer, and more enduring. The process is working. The story is evolving. And the community is as passionate as ever. The future of the grim dark is in very good hands, the best hands. The hands of the millions of people who have made this universe their own, and that is a comforting and wonderful thought. The saga is eternal, because we will make it so. Our passion is the guarantee, our creativity is the engine, and our endless debates are the proof of life. The universe is alive and well, and it is a joy to be a part of its ongoing story. The watch continues, and we are all on duty, and it is the best duty in the world. A duty to a universe that has given us so much. A duty that we perform with pleasure, with pride, and with an unwavering commitment to the grim darkness of the far future. The story is our charge, and we will keep it safe. The legacy is in our hands. and it is a legacy that is growing and evolving with every passing day. A living, breathing saga that is constantly surprising us, challenging us, and inspiring us. And that is what makes this hobby so special. It is a journey, not a destination. And it is a journey that we are all on together. A journey into the heart of a dark and magnificent universe. A journey that is fueled by our shared passion and our collective imagination. And it is a journey that is far, far from over. The watch continues, the story unfolds, and the adventure of a lifetime goes on. The grim darkness awaits. And we will be there to meet it, with our arguments sharpened, our paintbrushes at the ready, and our love for this incredible universe burning as brightly as ever. The future is uncertain, but our commitment is not. We are the fans of the 41st millennium, and our watch is unending. The saga is ours, a saga that we have all had a hand in writing, a saga that is as much a story about a community as it is a story about a fictional universe. And it is a saga that is still in its prime, still full of potential, and still capable of igniting the passions of millions around the globe. The story is alive, and as long as it is alive, there will be a community to celebrate it, to debate it, and to call it home. The grim darkness is a welcoming place, thanks to the passion of the people who inhabit it, and that is a testament to the enduring power of a shared story. The Watch is a community act, an act that binds us all together, across borders and across generations. An act of shared love for a universe that has become a part of our lives, and that is a bond that is stronger than any disagreement over law. We are a family, a dysfunctional, argumentative, and wonderful family. A family that is united by a love for the grim darkness. And as long as that love endures, the future of this hobby is secure. The stories will continue, the debates will rage, and the universe will continue to be a source of endless fascination and joy. The watch continues, and the family endures. And through that endurance, the legacy of Warhammer 40,000 is preserved and enhanced. A legacy of creativity, of passion, and of a community that has taken a fictional universe and made it a real and vital part of our world. And that is a truly magical thing to be a part of. The saga is real. It is real because we make it real. Our passion gives it life. Our creativity gives it form. And our debates give it meaning. We are the co-authors of this incredible story, and it is a story that is far from finished. The next page is always waiting to be turned, and we will turn it together. The watch continues, and the story unfolds. And we, the dedicated legion of fans, will be there for every moment, ready to engage, to create, and to celebrate the endless, glorious saga of the 41st millennium. For the story, and for the community that loves it, the two are inseparable. And it is in that inseparability that the true strength of this hobby is to be found. It is not just a product, but a partnership. A partnership between the creators and the community, working together to build and sustain a universe of incredible depth and endless possibility. The Watch is a collaboration that has been ongoing for nearly 4 decades. A collaboration that has created one of the most vibrant and enduring fan communities in the world. And a collaboration that will continue to shape the future of the grim dark for many, many years to come. The story is in good hands, the hands of everyone who cares about it, and that is a very large and very passionate group of people indeed. The future is secure because the community is strong, and that is the best possible news for any fan of the 41st millennium. The saga is eternal because the community will make it so. The Golden Guardians of Terror are a symbol of that eternity, an unchanging watch over a timeless master. And while the universe around them may change, their purpose remains constant. In the same way, while the details of the law may evolve, the core purpose of the community remains constant, to celebrate and to sustain the incredible universe of Warhammer 40,000. And that is a purpose that we will continue to fulfill with passion, with creativity, and with an unwavering commitment to the grim darkness that we all love so much. The watch is our shared purpose, and it is a purpose that unites us all. The story continues, and we are its keepers. a role that we have all embraced with enthusiasm, a role that has given us a shared identity and a common cause, and a role that will continue to be a source of joy, of inspiration, and of endless debate for as long as the stories are told. The Watch is our identity, and it is an identity that we are all proud to claim. The identity of a fan of the 41st millennium, a member of a global community that is as passionate, as creative, and as enduring as the universe it celebrates. The saga is our story, and it is a story that we will continue to tell together. The watch continues, and the community stands vigilant, ready to meet any challenge, to debate any change, and to celebrate every new chapter in the endless epic of the grim dark. The future is uncertain, but our passion is not. And that is the only certainty that matters. The story will endure. Because we will endure. The community is the living heart of this universe, and that heart is beating as strongly as ever. The debates are the proof, the passion is the evidence, and the enduring popularity of the setting is the verdict. The grim darkness is here to stay, and we are here to stay with it. The Watch is our home, a home that we have all built together, a home that is as chaotic, as creative, and as wonderful as the universe it is based on. A home that is always welcoming to new voices, new ideas, and new arguments. The Watch is an open invitation. An invitation to join a global conversation. An invitation to be a part of a living, breathing story. An invitation to fall in love with a universe that is as dark as it is deep, as brutal as it is beautiful. And it is an invitation that millions of people have accepted. And in doing so, they have become a part of something truly special. A shared cultural phenomenon that has been growing and evolving for decades, a modern mythology that is being written in real time, and a community that is as passionate and as dedicated as any in the world. The Watch is a privilege that we all share, to be a part of this incredible journey, this grand adventure into the heart of the grim darkness. And it is a journey that is far from over. The best is yet to come. The Watch continues, and the story unfolds. And we will be there for every glorious moment. The golden guardians of the Emperor may stand watch over a dying man, but we, the fans, stand watch over a living universe. A universe that is constantly growing, constantly changing, and constantly surprising us. And that is a far more exciting and rewarding vigil to keep. The story is alive, and it is alive because of us. Our passion is its lifeblood, our creativity is its engine, and our endless debates are its heartbeat. We are the custodians of this incredible legacy, and it is a legacy that is in very good hands. The hands of a community that loves it more than anything, and that love is the most powerful force in the 41st millennium. It is a force that can withstand any change, any controversy, and any challenge. It is the force that will ensure that the grim darkness of the far future continues to shine brightly for generations to come. The Watch is a labor of love, a labor that we all perform willingly, joyfully, and with an unwavering commitment to the universe that has given us all so much. The saga is our shared passion, and it is a passion that will never fade. The story is eternal because our love for it is eternal. The Watch continues, now and forever. The foundations of this shared love are built on the countless stories, characters, and iconic moments that have defined the setting for decades. Each new piece of lore, controversial or not, adds another stone to that foundation, making the entire structure stronger and more complex. The universe does not shrink from change. It incorporates it, growing larger and more intricate with each addition. This process of accretion is fundamental to how 40K has remained so rich and detailed. It is not a universe that has been planned from the start with a rigid, unchanging blueprint. Rather, it has grown organically, with different authors and designers adding their own unique contributions to the whole over many years. This has inevitably led to contradictions and inconsistencies, but it has also created a sense of layered, authentic history that a more centrally planned universe could never achieve. The debate over female custards is a perfect example of this organic process in action. It represents a new layer being added to the history of a well-established faction. It may not align perfectly with every previous layer, but it adds a new texture, a new dimension, and new possibilities for future stories. Over time, as more layers are added on top of it, it will become a seamless part of the whole, its once controversial nature fading into the accepted background of the setting. This is the long view of lore development, and it is one that requires patience and a degree of faith in the creative process. It is an understanding that the universe is a work in progress, and that its current state is not its final form. This perspective can be difficult to maintain in the heat of a passionate debate, but it is essential for a healthy and long-term engagement with a living, breathing IP. The role of the fan in this process is not just to passively accept these changes, but to actively engage with them, to question them, and to integrate them into their own understanding of the universe. The debate itself is a vital part of the process of accretion. It is how the community collectively digests and makes sense of new information, testing its compatibility with existing lore and exploring its implications. Through this process, the community helps to shape the meaning and the significance of the new lore. An addition that is met with widespread enthusiasm will be interpreted and expanded upon in one way, while one that is met with skepticism will be scrutinized and rationalized in another. The fan reaction is an integral part of the narrative's evolution, a feedback loop that influences future creative decisions. And so, the current conversation, in all its chaotic and passionate glory, is not a problem to be solved, but a vital function of a healthy and engaged fandom. It is the universe renewing itself, shedding old assumptions and incorporating new ideas, all fueled by the incredible energy of the people who love it most. It is a messy, beautiful, and endlessly fascinating process, and it is a process that is as old as storytelling itself. Myths and legends have always evolved in their retelling, adapting to new audiences and new cultural contexts. The story of the 41st millennium is no different. It is our modern myth, and we are all participating in its retelling. The watch continues, and the story evolves with it. A story that is as resilient, as complex, and as full of surprises as the community that has made it its home. A story that is constantly being written, and a story that is far from over. The grim darkness is a canvas of infinite size, and there are still countless tales to be painted upon it. The future is an unwritten book, and we are all eagerly waiting to read the next page. And when we do, we will debate it, we will analyze it, and we will make it a part of our own personal version of the 40K universe. And in doing so, we will be participating in the grand, collaborative act of creation that is the true heart and soul of this incredible hobby. The watch is a creative one, a shared act of imagination that has built a universe of unparalleled depth and detail. And it is an act that continues every single day in every corner of the globe. The story is alive because we are all keeping it alive, and that is a legacy that we can all be immensely proud of. The golden guardians of terror may have their eternal vigil, but our vigil is a far more dynamic and creative one. We are not just preserving a static past, we are actively shaping a living future, and that is a far more exciting and rewarding task. The saga is in our hands, and its future is as bright as we choose to make it. And judging by the passion and creativity on display in this community every single day, that future is very bright indeed. The grim darkness is illuminated by the collective imagination of its fans, and that is a light that can never be extinguished. The watch continues, and the story unfolds, more vibrant and more exciting than ever before. It is a testament to the enduring power of a great idea. An idea that has inspired a global community to come together and build a universe. A universe that is as dark as it is wonderful, as brutal as it is beautiful. A universe that we are all proud to call our own. The story is our story, and it is a story that will never end.